Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. We are testing the sound on a YouTube video. Don't know why I sang that, because it makes me sound like a knob. Hello, good morning. So I very nearly didn't film this video today because I forgot to put my camera on charge. So welcome to filming on my phone. I don't even know if I'm looking in the right place. I always think when people do that thing, when they look at themselves in the camera, it's weird because I'm not looking at you. I thought I would record a video because I realized I was doing that thing that I tell, don't lick the microphone, dude, that I tell so many clients not to do. And it's like, don't wait for things to be perfect. And I have a real tendency to do that when it comes to content creation. I'm always like, you need the perfect lighting, you need the perfect setup, fancy camera equipment. I do have a fancy microphone though. I remembered back when I had my original YouTube channel, before it got taken down, still salty about that, 8 years on now, I would literally use a saucepan and my phone to film videos. And that clocked up a decent subscriber pool, and I used to get loads of messages saying the stuff that I was posting was really helpful. So I think I'm as guilty as other people are of waiting for the perfect time to start. So this year I'm embracing it in all aspects of my life. Just start. So this video today, I thought actually I'm just gonna get random, I don't even have a script, look, I'm freeballing. I'm just gonna get random bits from my week that I think will be useful to see. Some of the meals that I have, because on knowing I was coming back to YouTube, I started watching other content creators for inspiration. I am not a content creator. I do not live in a fancy Dubai mansion. What I am is a nutritionist that helps people on an everyday basis. And I think a lot of these videos that I was seeing was stuff where I was looking at it and I was going, that looks nice, but I can't be asked to make that, or I don't have half those ingredients in my cupboard, or good for you, but that means I need to go out and do a food shop. Why is the camera moving? I told you this video was going to be chaos, but I thought I'd show you some of the things that I actually eat as a normal person at 38, nearly 39 years old, that likes being in shape, that helps other people stay in shape for a living. You don't need fancy ingredients, and actually all of these things are perfect lazy girl recipes. If you don't like cooking that much, these are going to help you throughout your week. So yeah, here we go. Randomness of this vlog. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't even know what I'm going to call it, but I'm going to take you to the kitchen to cook lunch. Okay, so we're in my teeny tiny kitchen. And when I say teeny tiny, like, let me show you, look. This is the door frame. There's not even a door because there's not enough room to have one. The cupboards. I do have very long arms. But you know what? It's my house. I bought it all myself. I do live in a very expensive part of the UK and I love it, apart from these black tiles. I am actually going to redo this kitchen. It's on my project list, but I've moved house a lot in the last few years, and just the thought of having builders and building work. I remember when I did my last kitchen, how much mess. I severely underestimated the amount of dust. I'm not mentally prepared for that yet. So the black kitchen is staying for a bit. But I love it and it's mine. Like, I'm not a flashy person. One of my personal goals is to be mortgage free in the next 10 years. And this house is a part of that plan. You're not here for financial advice. Don't take that from me. You're here for lunch. So let's get on with that. I do this most Mondays because this is one of the few recipes. Oh, my neighbour's walking past. That's so awkward. Now the dog's kicking off. That's so awkward. Right, we're just waiting for hello. I like this one because Ross will eat it as well, and he finishes work late on a Monday. So when I make my lunch on a Monday, I always slap him a portion back. But it's literally taco bowls. I'm not going to talk you through the ins and outs of the step by step. I think you're going to get this one. It's so easy. Beef mince, cook it off in a pan, 1 calorie cooking spray, taco seasoning. I'm not even chopping lettuce. That's how lazy I am. Salsa. If you get a fresh one, actually, they're a really good way to add in some tomatoes and onions and things. Any other vegetables you've got in the fridge? I have a cucumber. That's it. So we're going to put some of that in. Avocado, rice in the microwave. We're going to put cheese on the top, and we're going to assemble all of that in a pretty little bowl. But the good thing is you can cook this mince up once at the start of the week, and then you can literally just spoon this bowl together in minutes when you get home. Ta-da, we're done. So super quick, super easy. And if you like volume, this is like a bowl the size of my head, but it's gonna hit your protein. And if you are in a bit of a fat loss phase and you're a bit tighter on calories, you can always switch the rice for cauliflower rice if that's your vibe, or actually potatoes would give you volume for this. If you're really, really lazy, don't forget tinned new potatoes. They cook really quick in the air fryer. You can just really bulk out on the veggies and salad. So nice easy one. So we're back with another one, and this one is what I like to call stuff in a bowl. Evening time, I've just finished work. This is something that happens quite a lot. I'm just craving sweet stuff. I think my period is due and that's all I want to eat is sweet stuff. So sometimes rather than like force down a dinner and then end up eating a load of chocolate, I actually just make myself something sweet for dinner, but I try and just include more protein and fiber in that. So rather than going like sky high on calories, because even though I'm not tracking at the moment, I still am calorie conscious because I don't want to eat way beyond my maintenance. And at the weekends, I might have, you know, a bit more actual chocolate or bag of sweets in front of the TV. I don't want to start doing that every single time I fancy it. So stuff in a bowl is like my go-to. Fat-free Greek yogurt. So this is a small kitchen problem, is I can't get me and the bowl in the same shot. So you're just gonna have to stare at my scruffy jumper. We're gonna have a big old serving of this because this is for my dinner. So I'm gonna have, it's quite thick, this one. That's what she said. 250 grams. And then if you don't like the flavour of natural, it's on my mouth. If you don't like the flavour of natural Greek yogurt, you could always mix some protein powder in there, but I know this has got enough protein for me, so I'm not going to bother with that. So I try and always have some fruit in there. So we got some grapes. I've cut them in half. Then it feels like you get more of them. Raspberries for fibre. Could have made this look a lot prettier, but I'm actually really hungry. Then I've got this little fruit and nut pack. So it's literally just nuts and dried fruit from Aldi, because I like a crunch. Oh, there's a rogue grape. I got sent these the other day from Perform. They're called protein crunchies. And I don't use a lot of the, I have to admit, like the sort of sugar-free or artificial or whatever products now, but these are actually really nice. You remember Crunch Corners? They give you like a Crunch Corner vibe, and they've got a little bit of extra protein in there as well. It just stops me eating actual chocolate every day, because as much as I'm somebody that preaches balance, like balance also means knowing when not to eat chocolate as well as when to let yourself have it. So we're going to pop 10 grams of them. Honey, I don't bother with calorie-free syrup. Like when I want sugar, I want sugar. So I eat a lot of honey now, actually. Well, that's gone up to 12, so now that's going to be 15 grams. But there you have it. I mean, it doesn't look like the sexiest thing in there, but there's crunch, there's sweetness, there's protein, there's fibre. And that is going to be my dinner. Like that, there is substantial calories in that. But I think, like I say this to clients a lot, I'm like, if you have a sweet tooth, there is nothing wrong with honouring that by having a sweet dinner one night. Some night, stuff in a bowl. It is really busy. I've got 15 minutes before I've got to hop on a call, and then I'm on calls for a couple of hours. So if I don't eat now, I'm not going to get a chance. So I thought I'd show you a super quick lunch that I go to when I'm in a bit of a pinch. Okay, so here we have it. Tuna crunch mix, which is basically tin of tuna and spring water with whatever things I've got in my cupboard. So I'm still only working with cucumber. Still haven't gone out to the shop. But I got some sweet corn that was tinned, and I've got some olives for some healthy fats, and then I've just put salt, pepper and some light salad cream. I realise this is not the most elaborate or exciting recipe, right? But these are real foods that I go to when I don't have time to make recipes, and you can easily make this in a Tupperware and take it to work. So you can put peppers in there, onions, spring onion works great, any other veggies that you've got to use up in your fridge. So this is a good towards the end of the week recipe. If you are a bit tighter on calories or you're a bit under on protein, you can also put Greek yogurt and lemon juice and salt and pepper works really well on this and boosts the protein. And then to go with it, got 2 slices of whole grain seeded toast. People often forget about bread, like wholemeal, whole grain, seeded bread, really good source of fiber. If you were a bit tighter on the calories, you could just cut that back to 1 piece. You could have it with a pita bread, you could have it with a wrap. So I really don't have long, so I'm gonna crack on and eat this. Okay, so I've eaten it. I've got 5 minutes to spare. I should probably tell you guys why I'm so busy. And it's because we've just done a big rebrand of the business. So for 15 years, years, my nutrition coaching company has been called Girl Gains, which I'll be honest, at nearly 39 years old, saying that's gains with a Z was getting a little bit embarrassing. I set that company up really in the era of peak fitness, and I was very much into bodybuilding, protein, gym, and these days I still care about those things. I still help people implement all of that stuff. We still work towards fat loss, muscle gain. But I look at things as a coach much more holistically now, because the way to make stuff stick is to really be able to weave it into your life. And sometimes we can look for the answers for things in the food. If I just find this one magic bank of recipes, if I just find this one perfect full day of eating, if I just have this training program. And actually, I think what a lot of people need to work on is better emotional regulation around food, stress management techniques, better ability to look after themselves. And the older you get, the busier you get, the harder it becomes to weave these things into your life. So we really do look at things so much more holistically than just here's your training plan, here's your macros, off you go. Because I know for me, when I was struggling with binge eating, actually a lot of that came from factors that had nothing to do with food. It was actually to do with stress I had in my life, a lack of emotional regulation. Of course, it came from a fixation on being lean and therefore under eating. But it was so much more than just I didn't have my diet right or my training program wasn't right. And so for me, I think with our coaching, it's really important now that I show women, actually, although we do body transformations, what we want to get to is a place where food feels really peaceful and staying in shape feels easy. So anyway, we've just done this big rebrand, and I've got a new group program that's starting on the 13th of April. So if you want to find out more about that, I will drop a link below. I'm so excited about it. Not that I wasn't excited about our other group programs, but this is really weaving in everything I preach about as a coach with flexibility, really showing people what consistency looks like. Because people so often either mistake consistency for perfection or they mistake consistency for repetition, doing the same thing every day. And it's actually not either of those things. So I truly believe this is a fat loss program. But if you're somebody that struggles to maintain your weight, you know, you're good at the dieting bit, when you're tracking your steps and your macros and you've got a plan, you're really good. But every single time you stray from that, the weight comes back on. We're going to cover some of that stuff more deeply in this program. So yes, it's a 6-week fat loss program, but the reason I'm so excited about it is because we're going to dive more into the skills that people need alongside that stuff to help them maintain their weight for life. Anyway, I should probably get back on my calls now. As always, thank you for watching. I realize they weren't the most exciting recipes in the world, right? But what I'm trying to show you is that it doesn't have to be the most exciting fancy recipes in the world. The easier you can make it for yourself to eat healthily, the more likely it is you'll do it. And if this is your first time here and you think more of this content will be useful, make sure you hit subscribe so you can hear more of my ramblings, and I'll catch you in the next video.